Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Erica with Memory Box Candle Co. and I make videos all about the journey of starting a candle business. And in today's video, we are going to be talking a little bit more about blending fragrance oils. Now, I do need to put a disclaimer at the beginning of this video because I do want to make note that I understand that in other countries other than where I live in the United States, you do have to fill out, I believe it's called the CLP label, something like that. There's more to actually blending fragrance oils. You can't just blend things together and then sell the candles as they are. There's more that goes into it. So I do want to let you know, I am from the United States. We don't have that as a requirement here. So I did just want to preface that before I got into this video. But basically what I wanted to cover in this video is just dive more into the topic about blending fragrance oils, because some of the main questions that I get when I talk about blending fragrances, or in my previous videos where I've shared my blends on my oils that I use for my candles, the top questions that I always get is, how do you know which fragrances to blend together? And then how do you know what percentage of each fragrance oil to use to make that candle? And the very simple and probably mildly frustrating answer is it completely depends on you. So what I have always done is I have basically thought to myself, based on how many scents and how many different fragrances and smells that I've smelled before, I will kind of in my head think about, okay, what would actually smell good together? And if you're new to candle making and you have no idea, then you may have some fun with just blending things together. There's a lot of different ways that you can actually practice with blending two fragrances together. And a couple different ways that I recommend is, if you don't want to actually make a candle yet, what I recommend to do is take something like a, what are they called? Like a cotton swab, a Q-tip, something like that. Dip it into the fragrance oil one of the fragrance oils that you want to blend with, and then dip it into the other one. Put that inside of either a jar with a lid closed or inside of like a plastic bag or something that's going to blend the two together. You could even hold them close and smell them together if you want to try to do that, or maybe waft it in front of you so you can kind of get the two blended together. And that will kind of give you an idea of what it's going to smell like together. And if you like that combination, then you might want to move forward and actually make a candle out of it. And what I recommend to do is start with a 50-50. So I recommend always start with 50% of one oil, 50% of another oil. And the way that you figure this out is just take the amount of fragrance oil that you use to make one candle. Let's say it takes, I don't know, we'll make it super simple. You do an ounce of fragrance oil for your candle. You would do half an ounce of one scent, half an ounce of the other scent. That makes a total of 1 ounce, and then you add it as normal. You can blend those two together, which is what I typically do. So when I'm measuring out the fragrance oil on the little scale, I would measure out half an ounce of that one fragrance oil, and then in that same little container, I would pour the rest of that in there. You can mix it together, pour it in at the same time, and then you can pour the candle, let it cure, and see actually how the candle will perform. Because as we all know, the fragrances are going to affect the way that the candle performs. So just know that during the blending process, during this time of trying to essentially create your own unique scents, it's going to take even longer to see what you personally like. Maybe you will start to get to a point where you're like, well, I don't know if this smells good. Now I'm questioning myself because it's not a pre-blend, and you may want to have other people smell it as well to see if they like it. And then you may be surprised that you may come up with some things that a lot of people really like. So just as an example, I'm going to show you guys this right here. So this is one of my little bins that I keep on my bookcase, and it has a bunch of these 1 to 2 ounce fragrances. And what I would recommend to do is, if you're curious on how things are going to blend together, or if you're just completely new to the idea, just order some fragrances that are in a very similar scent category. So for instance, the scent categories that I like to say are fruity, sweet, floral, earthy, beachy, masculine. There's also like spicy scents as well. But you can pick, let's say, 2 beachy scents or maybe get a masculine scent and a beachy scent, blend it together. Those usually go really well. A fruity and a floral scent, blend those together. You could do 2 different kinds of earthy scents, blend them together and see how that is. That's probably the easiest way to go about it. And then start with that 50-50 blend. And if you think to yourself, I can't really smell this scent as much, and I think that if the notes in this scent were to be more powerful, then it would, smell a lot better. So then you'd maybe change it to 75 and 25%, or even 70-30, or however it is that you decide, because ultimately it is your choice. So never think that you are tied down to, okay, well, I have to do 50-50. That's just a starting point, and then that's where you can really see which scent that you really want to be a little bit more powerful, and which notes that you want to have be stronger in that certain blend. So just as an example, I just grabbed 2 scents. They're different from each other. So I have Mountain Trail from the Flaming Candle, and then I have Apricot Grove from Candle Science. And Mountain Trail definitely has more of those like earthy, fresh, clean kind of notes. And then we have Apricot Grove. And this one definitely has a little bit more of like a fruity kind of earthy tone. And I honestly have no idea how these would blend together, but I'd be interested in finding out. It might be terrible. There have been many blends that I've done before that just come out absolutely awful. And if you guys want to see a video one time of me just blindly grabbing some scents, throwing them, making them into a candle and just having fun with it, or even like blending fragrances that you would never think would go together, like just thinking to myself, wow, this would be terrible, and being like, let's see what happens, and blend it together and see what it smells like. That actually would be kind of fun. I'd be really interested to see how that would go. But I think that may be a good starting point for you. If you're somebody who is, getting started with their candle business and you're thinking to yourself, okay, well, I kind of want to have a little bit more unique fragrances than other people that can just use the regular blend, which honestly, I do wish that I would have done that in the beginning. I highly recommend that you just try it out. Don't be scared about messing things up. It's going to happen. And again, if you just want to try it out just by doing the Q-tips and being like, I don't think this would be good as a candle at all, then you don't even have to go there. But if it seems like something like, oh, this actually seems like it'd be really good, then you can move forward with trying to make a candle out of it. And then just know that once you do come up with your own blend, let's say it's with 2 or more fragrances, it does get a little bit annoying when you are going through the candle making process and you have to sit there and individually measure out these fragrances at the different percentages that you've chosen. So what I recommend to do is what I did, and I actually need to refill this one over here, but this is the DJ that I use, and I've mixed tobacco and mahogany teakwood to make it. And I just got these little, I think they're called like PET bottles or something like that. And then you're able to make your own 16-ounce blends. That way it's already blended together. So you just have to worry about pouring this and measuring out what you need when you're actually making candles. But I think that is going to be it for today's video. I just really wanted to try to clarify on this topic because I think that a lot of people get confused or they overthink, which is okay because I'm like the queen of overthinking. But I think that a lot of people do overthink on when it comes to actually blending the fragrances, that you're going to do something wrong. And really, this is like the most fun part of the candle making process, when you can blend different fragrances together and then see and come up with your own blends and your own unique ideas. It can just be one of the most creative parts of the candle making process, and it's not as stressful at all as the actual testing process of the candles. So with that, I think I'm going to end today's video right here. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to leave it a thumbs up, as well as subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, don't forget to follow me over on Instagram at Erica Marie Morris, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.